Teaching music to your children can be a rewarding and enriching experience. If you're a homeschool teacher, then you know that I encourage you to make music education a part of your curriculum. At Home with Music exists to give you the tools you need to teach music, even if you yourself are not musically trained. Even if you don't think you know very much about music, I can help you learn what you need to know in order to effectively teach your children music. In this video, I want to give you some steps and tips to help you effectively teach music to your kids. And this will be helpful for those of you who teach homeschool, of course, and it'll also, I believe, be helpful for those of you who have children in public school or in private school. Sadly, sometimes the arts and music are not given enough emphasis in schools today, and you will want to supplement their education. When teaching your children music, it's important to establish clear objectives. Define what you want to achieve with each session. In my Music Basics video series, which I've mentioned before, I concentrate on one concept at a time. I take you through the fundamentals like rhythm, pitch, basic notation, chords. Now, one of the most effective things you can do when teaching music is to concentrate on one concept per session, and then each subsequent session builds on what has been previously taught. Now, as far as the equipment that you need to teach music, it's my hope that every family has a keyboard of some type. You've seen me sitting behind my keyboard here. Knowledge of the keyboard provides a strong foundation for learning about how music works and learning to truly appreciate music and even learning how to create music. Now, music education, I believe, goes far beyond learning just a bunch of facts about music and composers and music history, or just learning how to read music and play pieces on the piano. Now, of course, these things are important. I teach music history, I teach piano, but I also believe in fostering creativity and playfulness and exploration when it comes to all things music. You never know. You might have a budding composer or songwriter in your household. Learning about music should be a hands-on experience. Not only is it helpful to have a keyboard or a piano, but other instruments as well. So, for example, here's my Native American flute. Well, usually it sounds a little bit better than that, but I haven't tuned it up in a while. Also, I've got a recorder. I need a few minutes to get my fingers over the right holes. But there are other fun instruments that you can use when learning music. For example, this is my melodica. Perhaps you've seen one of these. It's basically a wind instrument and a keyboard instrument. Of course, this also shows you why it's important to learn about the keyboard, because there's a little keyboard and you blow into it. Of course, it also has an attachment here that enables you to play it this way. Anyway, that's my melodica. And here's another instrument that this is always a lot of fun for children to learn, is the ukulele. I have a friend from college who teaches at a private school. He's been doing that for many years, and he has a room full of ukuleles, and he gets all the kids to play music together. So ukuleles are not too terribly expensive. They're a little bit cheaper than guitars, that's for sure. But having other instruments in the house, having percussion instruments, and flutes and ukuleles and drums and whatever, music can become a hands-on learning experience, and that makes it more fun for your children. Not only should your children be learning to play music and create music, but you can encourage their listening skills. Play various styles of music for them and ask them to identify different instruments. Ask them how the music makes them feel. What does it make them think about? You know, music has the capability of making us feel strong emotions, sometimes to the point where there are tears involved. Anyway, I'm sure you know how important it is to be patient and supportive of your children as you teach them music. Every child learns at their own pace. That's common knowledge among those of you who teach. And one of the advantages, of course, that you have in homeschool is that every child can learn at their own pace. Nobody needs to be left behind. Nobody needs to get bored waiting for others to catch up. So I would encourage you to foster a love for music in your children and in yourself. Listen to a variety of musical genres and styles, and this will help broaden everyone's appreciation of the different types of music. There's so much out there that is readily available, even here on YouTube. Yeah, back when I was teaching homeschool, we had to go find CDs. We had to go to the library and borrow stuff if we wanted to listen to anything. Encourage your children to express their preferences. What kind of music have they found themselves drawn to? When I was teaching my daughter back in the 90s, I discovered that she liked jazz and she liked classical music. One of her favorite pieces was The Planets by Gustav Holst. Now, as a grown-up, she listens to music from the 80s and still listens to other kinds of music as well. Take your children out to see live musicians whenever possible. I'm not talking about going to see big stars, but just live musicians. And I'll talk more about that in another video. As your children learn to play and create music, make sure to give them a chance to showcase what they've learned. They don't necessarily need to play in a formal recital. That can be a little scary. They can simply play for family and friends. However, if they're shy and they only want to play for you with a little bit of encouragement, well, that's all right too. Another thing is it's important to be consistent when teaching your children music. Make sure that music is a regular part of your daily teaching schedule. Of course, how many times per week you teach music, well, that's up to you. But children do thrive on consistency. They like to know what's coming up during the course of a day at school. As you seek to teach your children music, don't be afraid to get help. That's why I created At Home with Music. I'm here to help. I will do whatever I can to help you enhance your teaching skills, stay updated with current methodologies when it comes to teaching music. Now, there's a lot more that I could say about this. Obviously, you could teach a whole day-long seminar on teaching music. But basically, the key to teaching music to your children is to make it enjoyable, interactive, and memorable. My desire is to help you create a positive learning environment and help you foster a lifelong love for music in your children. Now, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can leave them in the comment section below. I try to respond to every comment, answer every question, and take into consideration any suggestions. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you find this channel helpful, please tell everyone you can, any way you can. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next one.